Hello, and welcome to Junker's Eve. I'm your host, Lord Rumfish. This is my character, Delphina, and the ship fitting that you see here is the Citizen's Arrest 5. This is not my most aggressive fit for the Citizen's Arrest. This is not the one I run like Tier 2 missions in. When I say Tier 2 missions, I mean security, like combat missions. This is just a kind of a shrug of a whatever fit that I use for Tier 1 missions. You know, if I have a daily quest that says, like, kill an NPC, get some skill points, kill 10 NPCs, get some skill points, and I don't feel like going and running an Abyssal instance, then I'll just grab this ship. I'll fly over, I will find a level 1 agent. The place you can do that is over here. This little button, it looks kind of like a diamond that has these two jags coming out from the sides, come up. It's hard to describe it verbally. That is the symbol for the agent locator. So on this tab, Agents and Missions, you'll go ahead and click here. You go to Mission Agents. And then, you know, based on whether you want combat or distribution, which is just hauling stuff, you just need space in your cargo bay to do these, or mining, or R&D, or locator. Security is usually what people are talking about when they're talking about running missions. Combat sites. So, here's a listing. We've got it sorted currently by level 1 at any distance and high sec for any faction. And as it happens, I'm in a station right now that has a mission agent. If it was in another system, you know, I could like right-click, set destination, that would guide me, you know, with a yellow highlight in my overview for the waypoints to the gate, and then for the station to dock at to go talk to that person. But I don't need to do that, so we're going to right-click here and remove the waypoint. But yeah, this is a pretty basic fit here. It's got the 7 civilian Gatling autocannons. It's got a salvager. We're going to do some Zen salvaging after the mission is complete. It's got a shield extender. I've got the skill to use some Tech 2 modules. If you're new, then don't worry about it. You don't have to get fancy with like a shield amplifier or whatever. Just you get like 2 medium shield extender ones, or if you don't have the power grid, you can get like a medium one and a small one. You fit an afterburner. You can also do a micro warp drive. The heat sink actually affects these little turrets because this affects energy weapons, and they do get modified by this heat sink. And you can get a Tech 1 heat sink. It's cheaper and easier. And the nanofiber internal structure makes the ship turn and align faster. It also makes it accelerate more. And the rigs are kind of whatever. I've got one that makes the thrust faster. And then I've got some capacitor control circuits here for when I was messing around with other stuff that used more of the capacitor. Right now I don't need them, but they're in here. So it's not the worst fit, it's far from the best fit for doing this too. It's good enough. It's very easy just with starting equipment to make a destroyer good enough to run Tech 1 missions. Tech 1 Sorry, level 1 missions. Level 1 missions are easy. Some of them are easier than others. Maybe we'll get an interesting one today. For now, let's talk to our Quaif company representative. Quaif in the game is like an energy drink company. It's sort of like I'm working for the Coca-Cola Corporation. Nice. Start conversation. Alright, rogue drones. Alright, destroy the rogue drones, report back. Straightforward. Alright, this one's in 0.5 space. I've found that if you get your missions from a person that's in 0.5 space, that the missions are much harder and they pay better. I would recommend, if you're very new to this and you're looking to take it easy, to take your missions up in like, 0.9, 0.8 space, whatever. And you will get a feel for how difficult mission running is. Anyway, let's go ahead and run out there. Alright, so I've made it to Imel Granlin. Since I've got the quest open here, I can click Warp to Location. If I did not have that, I could right-click in space, come down to Agent Missions, scroll over here, scroll over to Encounter Dead Space, Warp to Location. Alright, just an acceleration gate to start us off here. Alright. So we've got some rogues. Turn on the afterburner. Set to orbit around one of them. So the thing about drones is that usually after you've blown a few up, a lot more start joining the fight. So it's probably not going to be just this cluster in front of us here. And if I wanted to take a smart angle of approach, I could double-click over into space here. You can also do this on the tactical view. Alright, I'm going to start targeting and orbiting again. And pretty much you can turn on your civilian Gatling autocannons whenever, as long as you're cap stable. There's no ammo that you're using. So you can feel free, basically, to start orbiting that one, shooting this one. You can feel free to start shooting at a great distance. You're not going to hit them, but it doesn't matter. You can just have the guns on whenever you like, basically. So yeah, quick orbit, quick click of the 7 guns. They're all linked together because they're grouped. Orbit, fire. So you can see that 7 civilian Gatling autocannons are doing a fine job in this level 1 mission here. Okay, says travel back to Eyster. So that was easy. We are going to come back, approach the wreck. Yeah, this was like the easiest of easy level 1 missions here. And sometimes your level 2 missions are not much harder, but sometimes they are. Alright, we're going to turn on the Salvager. You have to be close for the Salvager. It's got a range of 5,000 meters. And we'll start targeting up the other wrecks here. So it can take a while depending on your skill level and the Salvager you've got and the ship you're using. It usually doesn't salvage on the first or second attempt every time. You've got to take several stabs at it. Early on it might be a little frustrating. If you use a civilian Salvager instead of the Salvager 1, I think it can be even a little harder. But you can get some pretty good material this way. Bigger ships have better loot that you can salvage off of them. Like, so far we've just got tripped power circuits. Okay, there's some contaminated nanite compound. If I remember correctly, I believe this stuff is used in making rigs. I don't know as much about the industry side of things. I've always done more supply side stuff, or like just directly going to the open market, manipulating it that way. I've not done as much building in EVE. It seems very skill intensive to me to get into blueprints and industry. Whatever makes you happy though. There's plenty of money in it. Alright, last one. And this isn't really taking that long. Yeah, I've just been here for a couple of minutes. Salvaging on these 5 wrecks. You know, depending on your level of patience, if you enjoy mining at all, then salvaging is kind of like, you know, taking a little breather after you've just done a combat mission to do a little mining, except the mining that you're doing is on the enemy ships you just blew up. Alright, so we got 3 tripped power conduits, the contaminated nanite compound, and a tangled power conduit. So the estimated ISK price, which is often far different from the market price, this is a very loose estimate, but it says it's a bit over 200,000, which is more than we're going to get paid for the mission by like double. Alright, here we are back at the glorious Quaif Company station. Turn in the mission to the agent. Get a little bit of company loyalty points in addition to some money. In terms of the money, this junk we picked up salvaging is like more than... It's around double the price of what we got from the mission pay. So I just wanted to point out that if you're running combat missions, you may be leaving quite a bit of money on the table if you're not salvaging them later. If you're just jumping from mission to mission to mission, it could be worth your time compared to the price you're getting from the mission to stop and salvage everything up. It can take a while on, like once you get to level 4 missions, then you might want a buddy who's got like a dedicated salvage ship like a Noctis. But, you know, generally speaking, if you're running like level 1, level 2, level 3 missions by yourself, you can run out and salvage them for the most part, and you'll get pretty good money in return doing so. So I know that was an easy mission we looked at, and the ship was actually overkill for that level of mission. I just want to warn you though, my skill levels are pretty high. I'm pretty good at using like turrets and small guns and small ships and stuff. So your mileage may vary. The ship is good enough to do it though. For sure. Even with, you know, low skill levels, cheap equipment, it's still good enough to run all your level 1 missions easily without having to burn through any ammunition. It's silly, but it works. And as I said, you can run level 2 missions with this once you know what you're doing. You could run them faster if you use bigger guns. You know, you'll kill the enemies faster. But if you like the challenge, if you think it's funny, if you don't like spending money on ammo, for a variety of reasons, then you can take this and graduate it and use it still a little bit more in the game even after you're done with level 1s. That's pretty much what I got to say today. So, if you've had any fun hanging out with me on EVE today, you can like and subscribe, do the YouTube stuff, share the joy. Until next time, never stop honing your critical thinking and empathy.